everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in to my last video when I talked about the Child and Adolescent Mental Health Service. In this video I'm going to be discussing how to tell your parents that you are self-harming and how I told my mum that I was self-harming. So if you want to find out more, keep watching. Yeah, do excuse the lighting in this video. I have a big window here and as you can see the light is all here. And I don't really want to sit there because you won't see my face, so yeah, let's just get into it. If you are self-harming or you are struggling with that at the moment, no matter how big or small it is, I do recommend you tell your parents. Now that is easy enough to say, but yeah, it's definitely one of those things that you should tell your parents about, and if you don't, then it's probably just going to get worse. Now I do understand that not everyone's parents are accepting, so I'll give you a few tips on if you are struggling with that, then how to go about it. So what I did was, one of my best friends now and then back then really urged me to tell my parents. Now the first step in that is telling someone, whether or not that be your parents. So yeah, if you don't feel comfortable, which you probably won't do, going first to your parents, then I recommend telling a friend or someone you can trust and someone who you can go to and is going to give you good advice. Now just a little disclaimer here, if you do seek help online, make sure it's from a reputable place, like any one of these websites. I'll link them up here and I'll link them below. There's a lot of like bad places out there and the pro self-harm community is quite large, so I do not recommend that you go there at all. But yeah, you can seek help online from different websites and stuff if you don't have someone, you know, in your life who you can trust and no one knows. So yeah, that's telling someone at first. I told my best friend at the time that I was self-harming, and luckily they told me to go and tell my mum. And it was one of those things that it's not fair to it's not burdening, but it's not fair to leave like your best friend or someone with that information and they can't do anything about it, knowing that you're hurting yourself on a regular basis. So yeah, second advice I would give is to pick a right time. No time is going to be an easy time to do it, but pick a time that you know you're going to be able to talk about it. So, you know, hopefully it won't be, you know, when you're going down the aisle in Sainsbury's or that, but whenever you feel comfortable, and just pick the time that you think is going to be the most useful and is going to have the best outcomes to it. So yeah, also I'd recommend that you can probably gauge how your parents are going to react, or if you know your parents quite well, then yeah, you can probably gauge that. So do try and anticipate that before, because there's going to be a lot of emotions when you bring up a big topic like that. Your parents are probably going to be really upset. They might come across as angry, but they probably won't be. They're probably just really upset you didn't tell them, and they're probably going to be really frustrated that you haven't told them sooner, so they can't help you. Yeah, so I definitely try and anticipate how your parents are going to react. Obviously you can't do that, and don't worry about it, but do just try and know that it's not going to be all like, you know, swings and roundabouts. Yeah, also you don't just have to sit down and tell your parents. So you can tell them, I told my mum, I wrote her a letter because I felt like it would be too emotional to sit there and tell her, and I just wouldn't do it. So, you know, for whether you're a teenager or whether you're a bit older, whether you're in your 20s, whatever, it's gonna be hard to get the words out and say I self-harm, because no one wants to say that, and you're probably a bit in denial about what you're doing. Yeah, you're probably in denial about what you're doing is wrong. So I'd recommend, I don't know, if you think you can do that, then go ahead and do it, great. But yeah, like I said, I wrote a letter, or you can just take a friend with you. Yeah, I told my best friend, then I told my best friend's dad, and then I told my best friend's mum. And so in a way, I guess looking back on it, it wasn't probably the best thing to do to tell everyone but my mum, but at the time I was like, I can't tell anyone, so doing that made it a lot easier. So yeah, I wrote a letter and I said, you know, everything in it. Like, I can't really remember what I said. I'm guessing my mum still has it, but you know, we're not going to go through that right now. So I think I just said like I was self-harming and why I was self-harming and how long I'd been self-harming for, and that I recognised that I needed help and who I told, and la 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 la. And I don't think my mum cried. Maybe I cried. I can't really remember. I don't think she cried. She probably cried after that. But yes, so I wrote her a letter. So if you're going to find it really hard and you know you're going to back out, I'd recommend that you don't just sit there trying to be like, look. But if it take as long as you need also in that sense, because it's not going to be an easy topic. Yeah, also, if you do know that you have parents that aren't going to be chill about it, or aren't going to be, no parent is going to be calm about it. They are going to be stressed about it, because they're like, oh my gosh, you've just given me all this information and I feel so bad that I didn't know, and stuff like that. So yeah, if your parents aren't accepting, then make sure you have a support network, whether that is friends or other members of the family, or a support group in your neighbourhood that you can go to and sort of discuss that. Because I had a friend that, sorry, that's the timer done. I had a friend that her parents didn't want to talk about it, and I found that really hard, because she was like, I just expected that all parents would be like, yeah, that's, chill, we'll get you the right help, I'm here all the way and I just want to help you and I'm not angry at you. But it was sort of the opposite for her, because her parents just completely shut down and were just pretty much in denial about the fact that that was a problem. So yeah, make sure you have a support network, and don't be freaked out about how your parents react, because they might cry, they might shout, they might be angry, they might be like, what are you doing? What do you mean? Like, and then a lot of parents, like I know one of my other friends, it sounds like I have a load of self-harmer friends, but I honestly don't, I just, one of my other friends, she told her parents, and I think they don't really understand the concept of self-harm. Not that it's a massive thing that goes on, but obviously it is quite a thing in this generation that happens more than our parents' generation, so do be willing to explain that indeed. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you really enjoyed it. If you did relate to this and need further help, feel free to message me on any of my platforms, my WordPress, my Tumblr, my Instagram, whatever. Yeah, and I will link everything you need in the down bar below. This lighting is so annoying. Yeah, and yeah, I'll link everything you need in the down bar below, including places that you can go to get help, further help, or support groups and everything like that in your area. So I hope you really enjoy this, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!